You're listening to Sports and More with Chris and Tom.
Welcome back. It's the guys with the faces for radio and the voices for a silent movie.
This is Sports and More with Chris and Tom. I am Chris.
And I am Tom. And yes, you can see our lovely, beautiful faces.
Don't punch the TV. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Sorry, we're not better looking.
Hey, 51st Dates.
51st Dates, Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
That's a good one, actually.
Hey, all his movies are
welcome.
good. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
Just about. So, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Anchor listening to this one, welcome to Season 2 of Sports and More with Chris and Tom. We are in a new era.
Woo! Because we're going from the podcast strictly audio to now video. Yes, we did some Facebook live streams with just the two of us, but that doesn't count. We're going on to the YouTube.
The YouTubes. We're going to be YouTube influencers. That's really what this is all about.
I mean,
I'm going to be posting pictures on Instagram of myself.
You have Instagram? I don't have that.
I have it. I don't post. I got like 4 posts. That's how much I Instagram.
About as active as we are on Facebook, guys.
Just about. I post for people's birthdays on Facebook, and that's about it. And then our stuff. I share our stuff from Sports and More.
All right, yeah, absolutely. But anyway, I think Tom has some big news about maybe some friends of his from the college. Didn't someone win a state softball thing?
So this Illinois college, I'm all backwards here. I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out where I'm at. Anyway, I am backwards. Illinois college baseball. It's hard to do this in reverse, man. A classmate of mine from IC, class of 2016, Jordan Bays, is an ASA state slow pitch softball champion. Congratulations, Bays. Awesome guy, supporter of the page, listener of the podcast. If you're listening to this, man, that's a huge accomplishment. So that's awesome. And that's all. It's amazing.
Hey, congrats, Bays. And if you're listening to this, maybe you should watch as well as YouTube. That way you're watching in 2 formats, helping us with that viewership problem that we sometimes have.
That's right. We do have some low counts sometimes. So then you get to hear us congratulate you twice.
Hey, that's all you need to hear.
And actually, he's the second guy from my class at Illinois College to be a state slow pitch softball champion.
That's pretty nice.
It was Rudy Pate was the other one.
I remember Rudy.
So our class was my class. You were a year ahead of me. My class was repping well at state softball.
Oh, pretty good. Nice softball players you got over there. Well, it would be nice to have good baseball players too. But hey, not saying they weren't, but it might have been nice.
Hey, take it easy there, man. Well, anyway, we are going to dive into some bigger sports news. So, Chris, why don't you take it away about a certain individual from your favorite football team?
Yeah, so Aaron Rodgers showed up to training camp for the evil green yellow team that hails from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Yes, that's why I call that evil green yellow team that's in the NFC North. They're arch rivals with the Chi-Town Bears. And this is what Tom and I predicted from the start when this whole thing happened. We said this is all a much ado about nothing. I mean, on April 20th, yes, Adam Schefter broke the internet with his tweet that Green Bay is going to probably trade Aaron Rodgers. He comes on a week later to the Dan Patrick Show and almost admits he was using an accumulation of information. It was not a direct source, so he wasn't lying to us. It's just the tweet was very misleading. So I take that as you will. And then Rodgers decided not to show up for all 3 days of OTAs, which is when Tom and I finally talked about the issue again because it was a huge deal. But then yesterday, July 27th, Rodgers shows up to the evil green yellow team's training camp on schedule. But we do have rumor and news from Adam Schefter. We'll take this with a grain of salt. Although this is contract related, he's usually 100% right with this stuff. Everything else is who knows at this point. Apparently, the 2023 season for Rodgers' contract has been turned into a void year, and he cannot be tagged in the future. And the contract was amended so he would not lose any money in the next 2 years or 3 years. So he gets the same dollars no matter what happens. And it is believed there's a gentleman's agreement between Rodgers and the evil green yellow team that he will either be extended after this season or traded before the 2022 season. So, Bears fans, good news, bad news. Bad news is Rodgers is back in Green Bay. Good news is Pace and Nagy about to get fired at the end of the season. So way to go, Aaron. Way to go.
You know what? Hey, from that perspective, I'm cool with it. Pace and Nagy after this season.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so cool with that. And yeah, you guys might notice that Tom and myself might fade in and out. We do have potato internet because we are in Potato, Illinois with potato internet speed. So bear with us as we go along here, peoples.
Dude, you're in Potato, Illinois. I'm in the center of a corn and bean field, Illinois. That's where I'm at. I'm in straight up rural Illinois.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, apologize if we cut in and out because we are doing this remotely from about 3.5 hours away from each other, just as we always have.
I mean, how are we talking to each other? It doesn't make sense.
How does technology work? What's in the camera?
I don't know.
Anyway, and then just to add on to the Aaron Rodgers thing, he had a press conference today after practice and absolutely ripped. I mean, in this typical, he didn't yell, but in the typical Aaron Rodgers voice, shredded the Green Bay organization. Basically, just exposed them of everything that there's been a rumor about with him this past year. So he kind of let a lot of that fly.
Yeah, it was glorious. I have to say, it was glorious.
I loved every second of it. It was great.
But we are Bears fans, so we are maybe just a little bit biased about that whole situation. But we were honest with you that we thought he would be back by the start of training camp. We thought it was a big do about nothing. Yes, I did try to speak into existence that he was going to retire and go to Jeopardy. I did try for that, but I didn't believe it. I was just being the devil's advocate, trying to pull on the leg of the Green Bay fans just to get them riled up like I always do because I have fun doing that kind of thing, you guys.
Yeah, my wife didn't like that one.
Sorry, it's what I do, Morgan. You should know that by now. But anyway.
Yeah. Let's get into the sport that we love the most this time of year, especially the MLB standings update. And Chris, this is your baby, so take the lead.
I'll take it away, but you can see at the bottom of your screen the ticker that gives you the games back and the standings. So that is an improvement from the podcast that you can actually see this as it's going on. But I'll give you a quick standings update. The Red Sox still hold the lead in the AL East by about 2 games. Yes, I'm looking down because I have my notes on an iPad now because I don't have 3 screens, you guys. I've kind of had to lose some stuff yet. There's technology all over the room, but not enough for me to read my notes. And the Orioles are now horribly 26.5 games out, so eliminate them from the playoffs. They're not making it. In the AL Central, the White Sox holding a 9-game lead over the Cleveland Indians, soon-to-be Guardians. We'll get to that in a bit, but they have a 9-game lead, so pencil them in as division winners. The Asterix, unfortunately, tragically, hold about a 6-game lead on the A's. It's not nice. It's not fun. We hate seeing it. You'll even see as it scrolls through that we have asterisks, not Astros, in our notes because that's how petty I am with them. In the NL East, the worst division in all of baseball, you have the Mets in first by about 3.5 games on the Phillies because everyone else in that division is at 500 or lower outside of the Mets. And the Mets are trying to make power plays to get offensive players. If they want to take Chris Bryant, I want the whole farm system you have to get Chris Bryant off our hands, which leads us into the NL Central, where the Brewers have, I believe, a 7.5-game lead on the Reds. It's a whopper of a lead. Looks like they're going to run away with the division. And the Cubs have fallen off to 50-52, now clear sellers at the trade deadline. So Bryant, Rizzo, Javi, whoever else gets traded in the next 2 or 3 days, thank you guys. It's been real, but management's done messed up. And then there's the Pirates that make the Cubs look good. Sorry, Pittsburgh fans, I had to go there. And in the NL West, the toughest division in baseball for the top 3 teams, the worst for the other 2 teams. The Giants hold a 2 or 3 game lead on the Dodgers. Padres now 6 games out, but the Padres are still the best team to make the wild card by like 7 games. So pencil the Padres in as a wild card team. And then you have the Rockies at 44-57. And the Diamondbacks, a whole 33 games out of first place. So, Tom, your bet, whatever it was that you would do if the Diamondbacks made the playoffs, it seems pretty safe, considering they're 33 out of the division and about 22 out of the wild card. My bad, 27 out of the wild card right now.
Well, here's how invested I was into that bet. I don't even remember what it was or when I said it.
Because they meant nothing, because we all knew it wasn't going to happen.
Oh no, that's why I was so confident. I probably said I was going to tattoo something on my rear end. So I don't know. Honestly, I could have said 100 different things and I wouldn't have remembered them.
Oh, absolutely.
It's it's not going to happen. So I'm okay with that. I can sleep well at night now.
No, absolutely. You can sleep well at night. And just like we said, these are the sayings. You can see them ticking down below us throughout the rest of the show. So if you missed anything, you can see games back. You won't see standings, but you'll know how far your favorite team is. Cubs fans, sorry, we're done for the year. So let's see who we trade and who we get back.
That's the excitement we get the rest of the year. But some recent excitement in the world of baseball. The Cleveland Indians are now the Cleveland Guardians. Well, going to be. Cleveland Indians announced before the start of the 2021 uh, MLB season that they were looking to change the name due to in no short to the peer pressure that they have been receiving for years.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and we discussed that actually a couple of months ago with our friend Leah Shoe Nichols. We call her Shoe.
Yeah.
Maiden name is Shoemaker. If I have to explain the joke, it's not funny, I guess.
No,
So.
it's not funny.
Anyway,
You killed the joke, man.
I killed it, man. Um, we discussed that during our episode changes beards and cheese, and we kind of got her take on what some of that means to an Indians fan because she is an Indians fan, even though from Central Illinois, and kind of what some of the more preferable options are among Indians fans. So then we actually got to see what that decision was. On July 23rd, the Indians announced that they will become the Cleveland Guardians. And I believe that is effective next season, correct?
Correct. Next
This
season.
is the last season of the Cleveland Indians. Um, so I believe what I've seen is from a few sources that the logo on the hat will still remain the C.
Yes.
For Cleveland.
Correct.
The the Guardians patch on the shoulder and some other things is going to have like angel wings and it's going to be a G. Mm-hmm. So that sort of a thing is like the approach that they're going to take with the logo. But the hat anyway, I think for the main jerseys is just going to be the same C that they have right now. So I can see slight variations of the jersey with the Guardians name across, but overall it's not going to look too much different from what I've found. So where does the Guardians name come from? That's a huge question because, I mean, I saw that and I was like, well, what about like the XFL Guardians? Don't we already have a Guardians team? The Guardians are an ode to the Guardians of Traffic statues that flank both sides of the Hope Memorial Bridge that leads right to Progressive Field in Cleveland. And those statues were installed in 1932 at the base of the so they've really been a part of Cleveland history for about almost 90 years. So I think that this is, it's fitting for the city of Cleveland. May not be, it's one of the more preferable choices from some of the other ones. I thought some of the other ones were pretty cool from a historical standpoint. But I think I can dig with the Guardians, especially since I'm not an Indians Guardians fan.
Right. I mean, my initial thought was the Guardians. What about the New York Guardians of the XFL? Like, what happened to them?
Right?
They still exist, sort of, kind of, maybe, but like that's just a generic name. And then I read into the backstory about why they chose the Guardians, and I said, "Oh, this makes a heck of a lot of sense. Good idea. I'm more behind it now."
Yeah, and I kind of went back and forth. Like, I kind of liked the Spiders because that was their original name. Yeah. Like, go back to the OG, but Guardians kind of rolls off the tongue better. I liked the Commodores personally, even though it was named after the historic Commodore Hotel and not anything to do with the military.
Nothing to do with the military.
It just sounds cool. It sounds cool. But the Guardians, super cool. You kind of get that Indian Guardian, like the same sort of syllable sounds within the name. So, it's going to be cool for the city of Cleveland to have that going on. Not going to be running out and getting a Guardians jersey, though.
No, we're diehard Cubs fans, so this is one of those things that's nice to talk about because it's different. It was a hot topic, so it was. We came into it with a completely different look at it than we came out of it when we talked to Shu about it because we were both like, really, why are they changing this? This is actually something the Indians fans want to do. It turns out it was kind of going on in Cleveland already that the fans wanted to change the name, so it kind of was something that needed to happen. So our position changed on it as we learned more about it, but I would like to see the spiders because that would freak out a heck of a lot of fans. You probably won't get many female fans because spider and it would be hysterical. So it's probably a good thing they went the Guardian because I just trust me. In my office, there's a prank where someone put a cup on the desk and says, "Lift up the cup if you want to kill the spider," even though there's no spider on it. And one of the girls who I sat across from literally did not touch the cup for 2 hours because she was afraid the spider was coming out and get her. There was no spider under that cup.
That's awesome. And actually, that reminds me of a story. There was someone in college. I think she put a cup outside of her door. I didn't see it myself. I heard this from other people. Put a red cup, like a plastic cup, outside her door, and on top of the cup wrote Mexican jumping spider to see who would pick it up. I think she was a psych major, so this was like some sort of experiment for her. So social. To see like how people would respond to that, see if they'd actually pick it up. So that's funny that you had something in the same thing in the office.
Hey, I pull pranks on people.
Right? Working from home now, I can't do pranks.
Oh, that's just silly. In the office is great for pranks. I'm more than three.
Who am I gonna pull pranks on? My wife?
Not a good idea. Not a good
idea, man. Not a good idea.
But yeah,
I like living.
Yeah, yes, and we need you for the show. Otherwise, Sports More with Chris is not as cool as Sports More with Chris and Tom. I would have to find a new co-host for the show, and I don't want to do that right now.
Yeah, that's the problem with me not living.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. That's the number one problem.
That's the number one problem I have with that. I can't. Wow. Yeah,
we're fighting. Move us along, man.
Moving along. So as you guys know, Tom posted a bracket with 10 dessert names and was talking about what desserts should we discuss at the top dessert of all time. And we had to really think about this one, and we had to let you guys discuss it. So we came down to a top 5, and what we came down with is these five desserts. Sorry guys, I'm trying to share screens and do a whole lot of stuff here. It's all technical and it's trying to kill me right now. And there we go. We're up and going. I actually have a tournament bracket up there. So in the 5 spot we have brownies. In the 4 spot, cheesecake. So it's not as bright as you guys would probably prefer it, but I can't really do much else without like going all crazy and trying to blow up. So this is the best I can do. And then number 3 is a funnel cake. Number 2 is the chocolate chip cookies, and number 1 is ice cream. So for this topic tonight, Tom and I are going to be discussing the 4-5 matchup, cheesecake versus brownies, and we'll be defending a different dessert. So, Tom, who do you have in this topic?
Well, first of all, I was coming into this thinking that we were going to do the whole thing, the whole shebang tonight.
No.
Now that I know that I can talk about cheesecake for 30 minutes,
Go ahead.
Not that long. I'm going to be honest here. Cheesecake is my number 1.
Oof.
Absolutely. So in this matchup, team cheesecake. Chris, I know where you are at with the dairy.
Yeah, lactose intolerant. I can't do it. I'm on brownie side all the way. I know there's people with peanut allergies who are now yelling at me about what about me? I got peanut allergies. Well, you can make brownies without the peanuts. It is possible. Try making cheesecake without the dairy. It ain't gonna taste too good.
That's the best part about it. You ingest so much dairy, you regret it later, but you're like, you know what? It's worth it. It's so rich and creamy, and you can do it up in so many different variations. It's I don't care how heavy it makes, like it sits in my stomach. Afterwards, I'll eat an entire cheesecake.
Oh man,
I'll live with the consequences.
Yeah, see, I won't live with the consequences, man. It's not good. It is not a good consequence. And I'm all for team brownies. You can make brownies with just normal brownies, and you can throw chocolate chips in the brownies to make them even more chocolatey goodness, which could be too rich for some people. I don't care about that. I will eat as many chocolate chips as I want in my brownies all day long. I want as much chocolate crammed into a brownie as I can possibly have, and it will be glorious to have them. And yes, I do enjoy sometimes the brownies with some almonds in them sometimes. I do like that on occasion. I am an odd person like that. It's not my favorite, but I will do that. But you can the options for brownies are pretty good, and I love me some brownies. So I will always defend the brownies. We're not talking about the special brownies. This isn't that we aren't that type of show. This isn't the Pat McAfee show, mind you. So we're not going to talk about those type of brownies. I'm just talking about your good old fashioned grandmother brownies.
Right. Not the brownies you go to Head West in Springfield and ask for extra lettuce and they give you the special brownie out of the back.
Yeah.
Not that kind of
or
not that kind of brownie.
Not that brownie from that same show either with Hyde. Have you ever had any affiliation with the FBI or the Point Place Police Department? Very good. Here's your brownie.
Oh, good. All right, quick sidebar. When my wife and I went to Jamaica for our honeymoon, there's all of that down there. There's all of the special lettuce. I'll call it the extra lettuce down there, and people just walk up and down the beach selling it. And there was a guy wearing a T-shirt that said he was the brownie man. Here's the thing, though. He didn't have like a sack or a bag or a cooler or nothing. I'm wondering, where is he keeping these brownies? If they're on his person, I don't want those brownies. I don't know. I don't want them anyway because who knows what's in them. And if they're not there, he's probably going to take me to go get them, and he's going to murder me wherever he takes me. So no, Mr. Brownie Man can stay away.
Yeah.
I just kind of like put my sunglasses down and didn't look at it, and I acted like I was asleep.
Just keep moving. I'm just here.
Brownie Man.
Yeah. Hey, but I will always defend anything with chocolate that does not involve dairy. So when we get to the ice cream topic, if it's ice cream versus cheesecake, I might just be screwed and it'd be what I do. What do I really do?
Okay, are you telling me that if we have ice cream versus brownies, you're going to take brownies?
What choice do I have, man?
You're talking like a Cinderella story here.
Yeah, I know, but what choice do I have? I want to take the thing that's going to kill me or kill the plumbing, or am I going to take the thing I can actually eat?
Okay, well, we'll cross that bridge if we get to it. I don't think we will, because just like you said, that there's so many different things that you can do with brownies. You can throw chocolate chips in them. You can throw chocolate chips in cheesecake. Actually, that's my favorite version of the cheesecake my wife makes for me for my birthday every year. You can do graham cracker crust. You can do Oreo crust. You can do a brownie crust on a cheesecake. But let me tell you, the brownie crust does not make the cheesecake. The cheesecake makes the brownie look good.
It probably does for the cheesecake, but the brownie is fine all by itself. It does not need the cheesecake to be good. It just needs to be the brownie, and it's just fine.
Hey, a classic New York cheesecake, just plain vanilla, it doesn't get much better than that.
We are going to agree.
Brownie,
disagree.
Plain cheesecake, man. All right. Do you see the Brownie Factory? Is that a restaurant? No, it's the Cheesecake Factory.
Hey,
there's a reason for that.
Because not everyone can make a cheesecake, but everyone can make a brownie. So you have a brownie whenever you feel like it. It's always there. It's always there for you.
Yeah, and if everyone can make a brownie, it's not special anymore. It takes real talent to make a good cheesecake.
Hey, well, then why do we talk about hamburgers all the time? Because anyone can make a hamburger, but some places can do them so much better. And that's the same thing with the brownies.
You're proving my point.
Hey, brownies are.
You're proving my point.
No,
people can make cheesecakes at home, but they go to the Cheesecake Factory if they want a solid different variation.
But not everyone can make.
It's harder to make your red raspberry cheesecake at home.
Hey, you can make the brownies anywhere, anytime. I get them from anywhere, anytime. I get my brownies. I like my brownies.
There's no convincing you, man.
No. Well, you have dairy in there. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just say, "Oh, I'm just gonna bite the bowl and eat the dairy"?
This is body bite dairy. I'm like 35% buttermilk. So obviously, I'm gonna go with the cheesecake option and ice cream. Like if cheesecake moves on from this round, I'm just gonna send both. 1 and 4. We're gonna have a dual thing.
I'll just have to protest the vote and say I formally protest the vote. I vote present.
You don't have to even show up for that one. I'll take that one solo.
That'll be the Tom will take that Tom's take. I will come in.
That's Tom's take.
That'll be Tom's take, and I'll hop in and I'll take.
I already just told you that's my number 1, so of course it's gonna move on to round 3.
Yeah, so we'll let you guys decide the cheesecake brownies one because Tom and I will never move off this one for obvious reasons because I cannot eat the cheesecake and Tom loves cheesecake because he's powered, as he says, by the dairy. So we'll let you guys decide in the comments below in YouTube and in Facebook. Oh, Tom did a coin flip. Uh-oh. Is that where we're going to do this?
I never decided what was what. Are we doing a coin flip or are we going to let,
No, we'll
the
let the
people at
people
home decide?
We're going to let the people decide what we do.
Okay. Just for poops and giggles.
Yeah.
Let's do a coin flip anyway.
All right, what
okay?
you said
to see what it would have been.
All right.
I say we go heads cheesecake, tails brownies. 4 or 5.
Yeah, that works. That works.
Let's go in that order. All right, fair enough.
Fair enough.
And I'm using the standard coin, the Saint Michael, and BAO on the back is our tails.
Yeah. All right. Brownies.
Where'd it roll? It would have been brownies.
Oh,
just by the way,
oh.
if we did it that way,
but no,
it was gonna be brownies.
We gotta vote with.
Too late.
We
gotta do vote.
We gotta let the people do it, and that's how we like to do things on the show. We like to let the people decide this stuff. We don't want to make decisions for you guys. So let us know in the comments what you guys think, and hopefully you guys side with the lactose intolerant people and feel sympathy for us, rather than make me sit through an ice cream and cheesecake debate that I have no interest in hearing.
Or vote to make Chris sit through an ice cream and cheesecake debate that he has no interest in whatsoever. Hey, all right, all I'm saying, and we're going to get to the ice cream thing eventually, probably the next time around. You like milkshakes, though. You will make the exception on your lactose intolerance for milkshakes.
Once a year, pretty much. I know how terrible the pain and suffering is.
Can you repeat that? Or the internet potato?
Yeah, so once a year, pretty much. I know how much pain and suffering that causes. That's the only time I make the exception for it, is once a year.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yep. Fair enough. So that is our first matchup. That was brownies versus cheesecake. You decide. We're going to give this probably about a week worth of comments. I won't be as annoying with sharing this on Facebook as I was the last time. I shared that original post to get the votes on the desserts, I don't know, probably 5 times. Yeah. And you eventually just all stopped liking it or looking at it. It eventually became one of our least interacted posts in the last month, just because you were all annoyed, just like, all right, just pick something, dang it. So hey, I won't go that far.
I'm just glad funnel cake made it. That's all I care about. Funnel cake made the list. I'm happy that made it.
All right. Can I be real with you?
Go ahead.
Funnel cake, Cinderella story. I did not expect. That was the underdog story. I did not know that we needed. I was not expecting to even make the list.
Neither was I. To be honest with you. I just threw it on there.
You voted for it
because baseball. I just threw it on there
because baseball, state fair.
I just put it on there just because of baseball. That's the only reason it's on there. But let's get.
But so many people agreed with you. I'm just saying.
You people are nuts. I love you guys for it. But we are coming to our favorite topic. One of your guys' favorite topics is a Tom's Take. But before we get into that, we usually do the Tom's Take intro, and we put it in there in post-production. This time we have it for you live and in living color. So let's cut to the Tom's Take intro.
Let's get serious, because this is Tom's Take. All right, so I think I'm on. Anyway, this edition of Tom's Take, I am going to be talking about the Olympics because we have had some big news coming out of the Olympics out of Tokyo this year. And no, I am not going to be talking about a certain individual because I don't think there's a whole lot for me to say about that. But I am going to be talking about swimming, which is actually one of my favorite Olympic events to watch. There's a lot of different events within it, so super cool to watch. And I'm going to just call it America's New Sweetheart, Lydia Jacoby, out of Seward, Alaska, 17-year-old gold medalist in the 100-meter breaststroke. She was the other American in the event. All the attention was on Lily King. She was supposed to be the favorite. King ended up winning the bronze. And then I believe the silver medal went to Schoenmaker. I'm botching the name, but I believe she was from Brazil or Australia. somewhere in there, something with some green colors in the flag. And Lydia Jacoby, who was not really talked about a whole lot before the event, came away with the gold. And I think my favorite part about the whole thing was like her reaction after winning was like she was not expecting that. But she pulled away in the last probably 25 meters. You could see her kind of just inching ahead and like, oh man, she's actually going to do it. Um, but then after that, they showed her school in Seward, Alaska, um, just went absolutely nuts. They're in the cafeteria watching the race, and they're just like yeah. And then all of a sudden she wins. Just the whole place erupts. You just see people throwing things in the air, and just it's going all over the place. And that was awesome. And then they actually showed her that video during the post race interview. And man, I mean that's just super cool. And can you imagine just seeing your classmates back home reacting like that? That's just got to pump you up. And so good on her for winning that. But some super cool things about her road to the Olympics. There is only one 50-meter pool in all of Alaska. So she did not do most of her training Olympic sized pool. She actually did most of her training in a 25-meter pool, which is actually half the size of the standard Olympic pool. The 50-meter length is standard. And so the 100-meter breaststroke was actually a down and back. So that's the 100 meters. For those of you that didn't watch or don't know how the Olympic swimming works. And like I said, she pulled away in that last 25-meter or so stretch. And I don't know if that has anything to do with her training, but it's super cool just to know like she didn't actually train with the same amenities that a lot of other Olympians might have had accessible to her because she was in a part of the country that didn't have those available to her. So it's awesome story to see her. And actually, it kind of reminded me of the 2016 games in Rio. There was a guy named Ryan Held. He was a local kid from Springfield. I believe he actually went to Sacred Heart Griffin High School. And he was on the 4x1 meter relay with Michael Phelps, Nathan Adrian, and Caleb Dressel. And he wasn't the last leg of the race. I don't remember who the last leg of the race was. I got to look back and see that. But the same thing. Like we were watching, he was the hometown kid. I have never cheered so loud for swimming in my life. I remember being in the basement of my parents' house watching that with my brother. We're just like, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. And then they did. And it was awesome. We were just jumping all over the place the same way that if you look up the clip from the high school in Seward, Alaska, it's the same thing. It was awesome. Like even though he didn't go to the same high school as us, we didn't really know him personally. He was from Springfield. And so that was really cool, like hometown pride sort of moment. Unfortunately, he did not make the Olympic team this year, but still an incredible swimmer. Swam at North Carolina State. So that's just kind of reminds me of or this whole Lydia Jacoby winning kind of reminds me of that. Is like she had the hometown connection, and they showed that, and it was really personal. And that was kind of a really cool moment for us 4 or 5 years ago now, watching Ryan Held. So that's one of the reasons that I like watching swimming is it's exciting. And you never know which underdog could take it. And I think that's what just makes it a great event. So congratulations to Lydia Jacoby, 17-year-old gold medalist in the 100 breaststroke. Fantastic.
I mean, that was awesome. Great take there, sir. I mean, I'm glad you went that topic, and it's awesome to see a small town person win with a knowing that they don't have the amenities that everyone else. They're just racing around with their own little pool, and maybe that 25-meter pool helped her because she does do down and back, down and back, down and back. Those turns have to be the worst part of the swim, so she's doing that more times. The just going straight forward might be the easiest part for her. So it was like, oh, I only do one turn. Oh, watch this. I got you now.
Right, and so she's perfecting that turn, which is really cool, and that is really good for her, and I think might have helped her, like you said, in that last stretch of the 100, the last 50-meter stretch. And you're right. I think Lily King, and I'm no expert on swimming. I'm not ever going to claim that. I almost joined the swim team my senior year of high school and decided against it. So that's how much
That's the
I
knowledge of
am
swimming.
involved with swim. That's it. I was a lifeguard. That doesn't count. But it did look like she didn't get as good of a push off that last turn as Lydia Jacobi did, and so I mean maybe that was the reason. But then obviously she got a better final stretch than even the other two because she was not in the lead going into that final. That I say final, but the only turn.
Right.
Um,
Hey,
years old.
sometimes people get stronger as the race goes on. That's kind of what happens sometimes. And maybe it was the fact that she was like, "Oh, I don't want to make another turn. Let's push as hard as I can now because it's go time."
Right, and I mean even from the mental aspect, all the attention was on Lily King. There's um, nothing to lose sort of mentality. Like I'm going to go in this. I'm happy to be here. I'm an Olympian. I'm 17 years old. I got a lot of life ahead of me. I'm not going to let this race define me. But the spotlight's not on me either. So now I can maybe turn some heads, and she did.
Oh, she definitely did, and congratulations to her. And hopefully, she can keep turning heads in another 4 years when she's 21 years. Well, no, maybe it'll be 3 years.
It'd be 3 years
Three,
actually.
right,
Yeah,
3 years. Yeah, that's right.
right. It's so off this year.
It's so off, you guys. Sports are just on their head, and so hopefully she has a great run in another 3 years at the age of the ripe old age of 20 in Olympics. Just joking.
Right, old age of 20.
In the Olympics, 20 is old at this point because everyone's like teenagers competing in the Olympics. I don't know how these people are born, how they're created, or how they get so good. But congratulations to them for being athletic freaks of nature, and I mean that in the best way possible. Much like we compliment Michael Jordan as a freak of nature, or Tom Brady as a freak of nature for their competitive drives as well.
It's rarefied air where they're standing right now. So good for her. So that is the first episode on YouTube, the first episode of season 2. So let us know what you think down in the comments. Yes, we do not do this professionally. For those of you keyboard warriors who are going to make comments below, I don't care what you have to say in that. If you have some positive things, thank you for those.
Yeah,
But I'm not gonna lose sleep at night because some schmo just has some thing to say about how we do this. We're gonna keep doing this just to have fun.
hey, no cares given. And you can follow us on our Facebook page, Sports and More with Chris and Tom. We'll put a link in the description on YouTube so you can go straight to that Facebook page. Or you can just comment on our posts on Facebook, on YouTube as well. We'll try to interact with you guys. Yes, everyone knows we're not the greatest at that sometimes, but we'll do what we can. And also, you can email us at sportsandmore with CT, capital C, capital T at gmail.com. We'll put that email in the link below as well. That way you can do that and just email us from there because we don't get many emails there. So it'd be nice to have some once and again.
It would. It gets kind of lonely in our inbox. Not gonna lie. Looking and seeing the 0 up at the top there, just nothing coming through.
No.
Nobody stops by. So stop by, drop us a line. I haven't heard that one in a while. Drop us a line. Anyway, you can also go to our anchor page, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or if you're listening to this on one of the podcast site, you can go to YouTube, download, watch this episode and any future episodes we create. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we have a year's worth of content going back on our podcast site. So you are more than welcome. In fact, we encourage you to go back and listen to that because it's, I think, some of our best work. Yes, we're still working out some of the bugs with being on video now. So see kind of our progression, where we came from a year ago, where we are now. And we've got some awesome stuff that we've done along the way.
Hey,
we are going to have some really cool content coming your way in about 2 months.
Yep.
We're hoping to be able to bring on another YouTuber. We're going to call ourselves YouTubers now. We're not anywhere in the same category. One video. But they have over 1 million followers. They have about 400,000 followers on Instagram. Awesome people to talk to, I hope, because they have some seem like really wholesome guys. So be looking out for that. I'm not going to give the name yet.
Hey, we will get there when we get there, and we will try, Chris. I will try my darndest to get all our audio podcasts onto YouTube. Yes, it may just be our logo and then audio behind it, but I will do what I can to get those out to YouTube as well, so you guys can watch them on YouTube as well. Just more options for the people. But we would like to thank all of you.
For the people.
Yeah, we like to thank all of you, probably the tens And tens of people listen to our ridiculous takes and ramblings on everything from the Aaron Rodgers saga to the MLB season to why brownies are better than cheesecake and to the Olympics by Tom.
I don't know about that second to last one. I think cheesecake is pretty awesome, but we already had that discussion. So our next episode's creation date is to be decided. As always, we will not tell you when that's coming, even though we sometimes have promised to. Keep an eye out on our Facebook page for updates. It will be posted there. If you want to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, toggle to notifications to all, you will get notifications on YouTube for when we do post something new. You will be the first to know about it. So I can't believe that I get to say that now.
You're excited, man.
I've been watching YouTube videos for how long, and now I get to remember, like, okay, they say all of this at the end. We are super appreciative of everyone that has supported us the past year. We're going to try to keep bringing you some good stuff. But until then, please, as always, stay safe and healthy, and above all, stay free.
Sports and More with Chris and Thom is brought to you by no one. All non-original thoughts and ideas were properly noted during each segment.